Welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checkered Podcast, the number one fan-made podcast. And how do we know that? It's because we have Austin Drake, Zach Sullivan, and Joe Sullivan, and myself, Andrew Fitzgerald, as the host this week.
That's right.
And we had an exciting weekend, and the guys that really had the exciting weekend, Austin and Joe, let's hear about it.
I mean, first ever experience in media credentials. I think me and Joe both done the just regular hot pass. Oh yeah, sorry. Should I just hold on? Excuse me. Oh. Sorry, just real quick.
We're essential.
Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. No, I mean me and Joe both had. Yeah, we'll just keep them on. How about that? Me and Joe both had hot passes before the races through different connections and everything. But I mean, this was like a hot pass. I think Joe called it a hot pass on steroids.
Oh yeah.
I mean, from the time we were heading to the track to getting there to pulling into the infield and everything was just so surreal. I mean, we pull up and we're looking at the map, or they sent us a map earlier in the week, and it was we had media parking as part of our little credential thing, and it's just in the infield, right next to the media center in the infield, which was crazy. We were hoping for some kind of good parking, but didn't realize it was going to be that good of parking. So, showing up, passing through all the crowds, going through the tunnel into the infield, going into the media center. I mean, very much so felt out of place because we're there.
That's Bob. That's Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. There, there's the MRN guys. Here's all of NBC's crew. Here's all of NASCAR's crew. All this stuff. I mean, just wild. It was so funny though because you have an air of when we were in the media center around media guys, it was very much we felt like the little guys very much felt like we stood out as guys who who are these people, and then whenever we'd go to more public spaces with just everyone out there, we felt like the big wigs. Oh yeah, Central Pass coming through. Yeah. We have our media vest on. Watch out, guys, please.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny, but I mean, just overall, just wild experience. Very cool. Yeah. Would recommend.
It was it's just walking in the media center too, because I've obviously never been into a media center, but they have Darlington's is set up where they have the big main room with the stage where they do post quality, post practice interviews and stuff like that. And we're I wonder where we're, because you get an assigned seat, and we're I wonder where we are. And then we saw the seating chart, and there's a back room with just the foldable picnic tables, and we were back there. I'm
no AC in there right. Either. I don't think so. We just got the leftover AC come through the door,
and we only got one seat for the both of us, so we kind of had to make that work. But it was, and we were in the buffet room too, so that's where the food was. That was great.
They knew where to put us. Yeah, they said,
exactly.
Get these guys by the food.
But yeah, just an incredible experience. Everything you can do with a hot pass, but for driver intros, they have they have it fenced off on pit road for the fans to not go get close. And then Drake and I are wait a second, there's media people in front of the thing, and we just went around there, and we were literally right next to all the drivers for media, and obviously we were taking pictures. We weren't talking to them, but
sir, autograph.
That's all the favorite drivers that we like.
Yeah, I mean, it was that was kind of when it hit me a little bit for me, because Saturday, for one, I didn't really have a camera. I just had my phone, which there were guys walking around there with just phones, social media guys and everything, but just didn't quite feel right a little bit. But then on Sunday, my wife has a nice camera that she was kind enough to let me borrow, and I managed to not break it. But I felt very official walking around with that thing. But that's when it kind of hit me oh, this is insane. Because obviously Saturday was cool. A lot of cool things we did. We just kind of got to lay the land a little bit. But that was really when I was oh my gosh, we are really in here. Whenever we just were able to walk right up to the stage, we're taking pictures of the drivers, and it was kind of funny. I noticed they were doing this. They would notice you taking a picture and then kind of pose a little bit. I got these shots of Joey where he's kind of standing by himself and he's kind of looking around. He kind of you can see him kind of look at and notice me with a camera, and then he just kind of looks off in the distance a little bit. I'm all right, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, good one, yeah, got you there. And I got a good picture of it. Okay, so more to come there. But, I mean, wild. I mean, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in that, like, there were like stands we could go on to, like in turn 1, there's like a little elevated stand, which I think hot passes get in there too. There's 1 in 3 and 4, which I think was only for media. And on top of that too, you could walk past the pits into like the grass on the inside of turn 1 and turn 2 and 3 and 4, just right behind the wall to get pictures there. And it was just, I'm like, the safer barrier is right here. Like, I kind of hope someone gets a little squirrely into the inside wall here. I get to be sick. I get some cool shots there. But I mean, yeah, unparalleled experience. Like nothing I've ever done. Very 10 out of 10.
Big shout out to Peyton for all the help and everything. The past weekend. She's a rock star. Go Peyton.
Yeah. I've been in contact, and I will get to meet her this Friday, so I'm excited.
We told her you were coming. And we were like, one of our counterparts I think is going to Kansas. Oh, cool.
Very official. Counterpart.
Yes. What are
Did you tell her to listen?
No, we don't want. No,
we don't want him to.
We don't want him to know that. I mean,
wait, these guys?
Yeah, wait, hold on. This is who we're credentialed? Get them out of here. I mean, I had a very strong imposter syndrome the entire weekend. I was like so scared to ask, like, to mention our name at all around her or her boss or anyone. I'm like, I don't want them to be like, wait a minute, green, white, check. Hold on.
You kept waiting for somebody to come in and say, no, not you don't get this access.
Right? Yeah. It's like, wait, hold on. You're not. Never mind. Actually, sorry guys. Like, this is the last. You know what I mean? Like, I was like so scared of mentioning anything about who we were, and fears that they were going to realize that we're like a small little podcast. But I mean, we sent our website, we sent everything with our credentials. So that, I mean, I think there may be other podcast similar names out there, but they're not big either. So it's not like, they're getting us necessarily confused. So I think they know who we are and our size and everything. But
maybe when Joe was filling out the application, you accidentally entered in door bumper clear. Very easy.
Right. A weird type of autocorrect. My bad, guys.
That's wild. Dale Jr. download. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, that's the.
Maybe we shouldn't have sold the #1 fan podcast thing so hard.
Okay, sorry. The #1 fan podcast on a Tuesday at about 9:30 Eastern.
That has NASCAR credentials.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, credentialed podcast. But
So, Austin, you mentioned you had a camera with you. We now have a TikTok. It's the GWC Pod, and we also have an Instagram coming. Correct?
Yes, we do. Nothing posted there yet. Still kind of working on. A lot of my photos came out grainy, so I'm working on editing those, trying to. But Joe's got some good shots that he shared in Discord that we can start posting there. But same handle at the GWC Pod, so give it a follow there for some upcoming content on there. But
go do that right now.
There you go.
Yeah, and if you want to see what how close Austin and Joe were, just go to the TikTok. They got some great videos.
Some of your shots that you showed of like how close you were to the track, like that blew my mind.
Like about the only place we couldn't go was like in an actual pit box, obviously, because the pit crew's working. But like obviously there are empty pit boxes here and there throughout, and then if guys wreck out, you're allowed to go in those. But like we pretty much could do anything but drive the car and be in the booth with Dale Jr.
Yeah,
that's really it.
If you go to our Twitter, I shared a video. I tweeted out or X'd out a video. I don't know what you even say anymore.
Tweet.
I tweeted out a video on X of when the lights went out.
On X, you were on pills.
Yeah. I tweeted out, took some X, and but they of like them of whenever the lights went out in 3 and 4 or never came on, I guess. A video of like the guys like working on the electrical box there, and I literally. There's no barrier between me and them. Like I could walk up to them if I really wanted to. There's no reason for me to, and I probably would have gotten yelled at. But like I was little, you're right there. I'm like, it was just
there's no physical barrier.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which I will say, a win for the whole weekend. We were our whole goal was just kind of like go and learn and kind of not get in anyone's way and everything. We did not get yelled at all by anybody the whole weekend,
did not.
Which was I'm like at least once one of us is going to do something stupid and like some like actual big time media like an NBC cameraman's going to yell at us, or some social guy for RFK or something is going to yell at us for being in the way, or like God forbid, a track official or like, someone with NASCAR yell at us, but no reprimanding. So I think we did a good job about staying in the way, but still getting some good
RFK
stuff.
ended up tweeting out a picture of us.
Yes.
So that worked out. Yeah. The closest I like was leaning in to get like a picture on pit road, and I guess I didn't realize there was a broadcast guy behind me just like tapped me out of the way. But that was like the closest any of us got into any sort of trouble or
It would be
nothing.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, I didn't see you there.
Those broadcast guys got to be faster,
Yeah.
GWC podcast first.
We're on the scene.
Gotta be there, dude.
We were extra cautious. There was one point, I think it was during the Xfinity race, where we're sitting in an empty pit box, and I think it was by AJ's pit. Maybe it was during the Cup race. I can't remember. Anyway, we're sitting by I think it was AJ's box, and there's a guy there like with a colleague like shirt on with like the vest and the big camera and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, they're about to come in for pits. I'm trying to get like a shot of it, but I'm like, I turn around and see him, like, hey man, like, let me, am I in your way? Like, I don't want to be in your way. And all he's like, oh, you're fine. I already got all I needed. I'm just getting bonus shots. I'm like, okay, well, let me still get behind you because you're probably way more official than we are. He's like, who are you shooting for? We're like, podcast. And he's like, oh, okay. And everyone was cool about it. Like whenever because people ask like, who are you shooting for or whatever, and you could, we just tell them like a podcast, and no one was like, oh yeah, idiot, like why are you here? Like everyone was cool.
They don't know if we're with DBC or with the GWC podcast. So.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a big.
Honestly, I think it's a great thing for NASCAR to be letting in the smaller groups of people, because we do go onto social media and stuff like that, and it's advertisement, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So
free ads.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah. So let's get into the race a little bit. We had our first playoff winner, Kyle Larson. I don't know where to go from here. So
he did win. He did win the race.
Larson won the race. Yes.
Yeah.
Woo. Good for Larson.
It was close though. I mean, I was Reddick
was on his butt,
Chris.
William was in
B
there a little bit.
Right there too.
You still can't get passing though for the lead.
No, you can't.
And they're still shifting, and I hate it.
I mean, it's not just the stiff shifting; it's the dirty air and the fall off and everything. I mean, the tires did fall off. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they all fall off at the exact same rate. It doesn't seem like there's something somebody can do to save tire better. It's the tires wear, but everybody wears it exactly the same. You're just stuck.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I was after the race ended, we were able to do kind of like bullpen interviews on pit road, and the closest I got was with Reddick. I was able to get like a camera and a mic like pretty close to him so we could hear everything. But he was essentially saying, because someone asked him about like tire fall off and everything and dirty air, and he was like, well, or they mainly asked about tire fall off. It's like, yeah, he's like, if they may have tires that are a few laps older than us, but like that, it's not going to make a big difference when in dirty air. So it's a little bit, there's not much tire fall off, but any fall off there is, if you're in that clean air, it's going to negate, any kind of tire advantage the guys behind you have in that dirty air. That's something that he had talked about. So definitely both are factors, and you can't get completely away from dirty air, no matter what. If you're going 100 plus miles an hour, there's going to be dirty air. But I think there's obviously things you can do to try to mitigate it and not make the cars as air dependent, maybe. But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I mean, we saw Reddick couldn't get to Larson there at the end, but the guy that I think probably had the best car of the day and could actually get behind the leader was Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
We saw him chase down Reddick, got right on his bumper, and then they decided they were just going to leapfrog him on pit road, and Reddick made some questionable choices, pretty much stopped on the track trying to get to pit road. Newman spins out trying to avoid him. Kevin Harvick then enters a closed pit road and pits. What do you guys think about that choice, Zach?
I forget which podcast it was. I think it was a teardown, and they were saying that Rodney basically said it wouldn't have made a difference, which I don't know. It's hard to say, because I guess if they don't pit, they roll out, and whoever passes them on track, that's where they cycle out, and then they have to pit later. So I don't know. I think it's silly. I think you don't pit, because they knew they knew it was closed. So I would say you don't pit, but I don't get paid 7 figures to be a NASCAR crew chief, so what do I know? But I wouldn't have pit him. No, I would have said just roll through.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, at that point, you've already slowed down the car. You're losing spots, rolling through pit road, but you're gonna lose even more obviously by getting the penalty for actually pitting under caution. But I know that was it Bob or Jeff or someone posed the question like, should that rule be changed? I guess like because he hasn't had much time to react there. He can't swerve off a pit road when he's already pretty much committed to it at that point. So how do y'all feel, I guess, about maybe altering that rule a bit?
I feel like the rule's been the same for as long as it has been. Just keep it. I don't like constantly changing rules. Maybe you could say in that situation the commitment line is voided. So like you get a chance to avoid pit road if it's not like a danger. I'm trying to think of like, would that create more of a dangerous situation? At Darlington, I don't think it would be, but maybe another track it would. I don't know.
Well, what about guys just being locked into their position? I mean, we lock everybody else around the track. Why can't we just say, okay, this guy was this spot, as long as they roll through pit road without,
They get
hitting.
it back, yeah. I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
they just go back to that spot.
I don't know.
I still think it in a way, though, it screws over the people that are on pit road at that point then. I mean, they get their pit done. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I'd say just leave it. It's like Zach said, it's been this way forever. They chose to pit. They knew that it was, closed. I kind of called out Sheldon Creed back at Indy Road Course for the same thing, It wasn't even close. They knew it was closed. They got on there, like, oh, we don't know. You knew.
Yeah,
and
if only there's a big red flashing light that said it's closed.
If only.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and the thing is, at Indy, because of how their pit road starts, it's literally right in front of them when they pull on, so you can't miss it. Whereas, Harvick's off to the side. But I don't know. You see that car spinning, wouldn't you kind of call it off and turn right and go back on the track? He had time.
Like stay out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the only time I think that you should retain your position, and I don't even know the rule on this. Maybe this isn't a thing, but like if you do go down pit lane to avoid an accident, like that's the only time I think that you shouldn't have to go to the back or whatever, lose positions. I don't know if that is or isn't the rule. I couldn't tell you.
I don't think they enforce that if you're avoiding a wreck.
I don't know.
I know in iRacing
they do.
But oh really?
Yeah, they don't. You can do whatever at that point as long as you slow down or try to slow down to pit speed.
Right.
Well, you get your position back though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I say leave it alone. That's fine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it only happens a few times a year, so no need to do any of that.
Yeah, I was kind of banking on Kevin Harvick screwing something up. That's why I have him going out in the first round in my picks.
There you go.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
My playoff picks, with the exception of because I think Bubba's below the cut line. With the exception of him, I think I'm 3 for 4.
Yeah, I think Bubba's like 1 point down.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up right now.
All I need is for him and Joey to switch places, and I got a perfect first 4 out.
Yeah, great run for Bubba too. I mean, he had to
overcome
that race to.
I mean,
I was surprised he was that low. I was surprised he came out below the cut line. Well, I guess he started below the cut line, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he spun out right before the end of stage 1, like literally the last turn. So, I mean, he missed points there. And then, I mean, he fought his way back up. He finished 7th, which great finish for him. But what could have been, if he didn't spin out, he gets those stage points. He probably gets points in stage 2 also. But, I mean, at least he came away with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I feel like he struggles a lot with overcoming mistakes like that, or he has in the past. So it's good to see him like overcome a mistake or two and still battle out a 7th place finish. So, great run for sure.
Yeah. And we're going to Kansas, which he does very well at.
He does.
So,
Yep.
I think he's got a good shot of making it into that second round.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I don't know how he's got to feel about Bristol though. That one I'm not sure how Bubba does at Bristol.
I think he's usually like mid-teens.
Yeah,
And
I mean, he's kind of got to have an okay day, right? You don't got to be stellar.
Yeah.
You just got to let other guys screw up.
He's got to get points at Kansas, and then he can kind of just take it easy at Bristol, which, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but,
Just focus on a clean day as best you can.
Yep. So, speaking of playoffs, Michael McDowell gets caught up in an instant. Kyle Busch hits Todd Gilliland. Gilliland spins out, and
Todd Gilliland could have been a lane above. I'm just saying, could have been where.
yeah, where that other car was already.
Just drive him into the wall. Put him in the fence.
Yeah.
You take what you need.
But Hamlin swerves to miss. Gilliland and McDowell had nowhere to go, but right into the back of Hamlin, ruined their day. Finishes 32nd. Not the way you want to start the playoffs.
No, that's not great. How many points below the cut line is he?
He is 19 back, so very doable.
Tough.
So he's not way out of it yet, but gotta have a good Kansas race.
How's he do at Kansas?
They were running pretty well. I don't know where they finished last year. Yeah, they were top 5 at one point. But so was Ricky Stenhouse, so
yeah.
I don't know. It could be a interesting race.
Yeah.
I mean that cut line it's what, 4 or Ricky's 15th, he's 4 back, so that's gonna be a fun 2 races.
There's not a huge gap in anyone except for McDowell, I think, is there?
No.
No, yeah, it's
But
-1.
Bubba's only
-2.
-1.
Harvick's -2.
Yep.
Ricky's -4. Yeah.
Yeah, so still anything can happen. I think Bell's in 11th, right? He's the one right above.
He's +1 in 12th. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is it too early to place bets on Chris Buescher making the Final Four?
I don't think so.
Too early? I don't think so. I mean,
Too
he
late.
finished third. He finished
Yeah.
freaking third.
Yeah.
I
He
did
was
not see this
fast,
coming.
man.
No. He's 27 above the cut line, tied with Denny for points above the cut line. I mean, like, I have no words. Like, that's not who I would have expected. I mean, I know it's one round in, whatever, but like, even this, I mean, playoffs aside, like the run he's had this season is incredible.
Go back to Daytona, no, LA Coliseum. Hey guys, RFK is going to be the best Ford team. Yeah, who's buying that?
Yeah, good one. Right? Yeah,
it's insane. They are so good right now.
So good.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even after Buescher, got his first win there, we're all like, he won't make it that far. And then next week he comes out, wins another. We're like, well, maybe. Yeah. And then he gets a third, and we're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I think he's pretty good at Bristol, if I recall. So
yeah, he did win a race there. That is true.
Yep. So.
And is next round the round with the Roval?
Roval, Talladega, and what's the other race?
Shit show.
So he's good at road courses. So he's good at the Roval.
Check the schedule.
Fords are good at plate races right now.
Texas.
So
Tejas, our favorite right track.
We're not gonna talk about it, but Texas and the Roval. I mean, no reason to think he couldn't go out there and do very well or win at one of those.
Yeah,
so I mean, I definitely at least see a path for him to get to the round of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the next one's kind of just a shit show. But honestly, I mean, going into Indy road course, the only driver to have a top 10 in every road course race was Buescher.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go.
I mean, the Roval might play in, really well for him. Talladega, who knows what can happen? I'm sure they'll do the same thing they did at Daytona,
there you go.
and just hang out in the back, and then at the end, boom, he wins another race.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could happen, guys.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Buescher going for the championship? Like,
it's not out of the question for sure.
Oh, it'll be interesting. He's really strong right now, so it's interesting to see. I mean, even Brad was up there. Brad pushed him up past Reddick for second place for a while.
Yep.
So they're both in it.
Yeah.
Okay, how about the Bowman Suarez incident?
Bowman, 100% on Bowman.
Oh man,
yeah, that wasn't good.
Yep. So going down the straightaway, Suarez gets a good run, tries to go to the inside. Bowman blocks him. Suarez goes to the right, to the outside. Bowman tries to block again, puts them both in the wall. Suarez didn't have much damage, but spins down and gets nailed by Harrison Burton.
Mm-hmm.
They both had some choice words for each other after the race, or after they got out of the car, I should say.
Yeah, I was
So-
hoping for some beef, but by the time I got back to the garage, Suarez was already on his way to the infield care center, and Bowman wasn't out yet. So, wanted my Bob in the middle of the Harvick fight moment, but we'll have to wait.
Yeah, as soon as that happened, I was like, it could be beef because
It
I mean
could
those
be.
two have run into each other
Yeah.
multiple times now.
Mhm.
They don't like each other, that's for sure.
They don't.
Well, I mean, that's all I heard people saying about, Suarez could have lifted. Like, well, Bowman could have not through the second block.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, he just threw away a perfectly good race and blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, he's not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are in the playoffs.
Mhm.
And Suarez has got to show Bowman, I'm not going to let you play this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about all the time how drivers got to stand up for themselves and show assertiveness. And, if he lets Bowman just double block him like that, guess what Bowman's going to do to him next time? Double block him.
Yeah.
Guess what he's probably not going to do the next time now. I bet you won't block him twice now. So, I don't know. It sucks that Suarez ruined his race car, but, I mean, you got to make a stand. I think you can't let him throw 2 blocks on you like that.
Yeah. Tough day for a couple of Toyotas, Zach.
Oh, Jesus. I don't want to talk about it. Next topic.
You don't want to
freaking
talk about
Bell.
Christopher Bell?
Oh, my God, dude. I was so annoyed. Like, so first, they make a big deal, a big hubbub about switching his pit crew. Oh, he's going to have the best JGR pit crew now, the Gibbs pit crew. Well, they fucked up the first stop. So that didn't go well. And then Adam Stevens later, when they go to do green flag stops, he leaves them out for 5 laps. Like, we were just talking about how dirty air is everything when you're trying to fight for the lead. That 5-lap difference, yes, he came out, I think he came out in 10th. He went into pits 3rd, and I think only a couple seconds behind the lead. He goes into the pits 5 laps later, comes out 10th, like 10 seconds back, and does get up to 3 seconds behind. I think he got up to 4th. But you're having to pass all those cars now. And you're using up that little 5-lap advantage you got. You're using it all up trying to get through traffic. So it's like, I don't know why Adam Stevens thought that was a good idea. If anything, you want to short, because they're not going to get by you. We all know this. I don't know why Adam Stevens and some of the Toyota crew chiefs don't understand that the slight difference in tire isn't going to do nothing for you. It's all about track position and being in the lead. So, and then Bell finished it off by putting it in the fence, and then his day was done. So that was great. And then Denny was looking good, and JGR pit crew struck again. I think they hit 3 out of 4 cars, and they might have even fucked up Ty Gibbs' pit stop one time, which we didn't hear about it because they weren't talking about Ty. Because I think they had a loose wheel on Truex.
Really?
Didn't he have to go through a second time? I thought he had to do maybe that was a pass through for something. Maybe Truex fucked that up. I can't remember, but I know Truex had some sort of issue on pit road. I can't remember what it was. So that may or may not be on his pit crew.
So when they announced the Bell pit crew change with Ty Gibbs, my comment right after you posted or whoever posted it was, why? They're bad too. Because one of my favorite bets this year has been Ty Gibbs top 10 because it hits a lot of the times. And the times it doesn't is because of his pit crew. I don't know how many times the last pit stop they lose 4 or 5 spots.
It's just JGR full stop. Like I think I think they're on paper the fastest on average out of all the JGR pit crews. But like being the best JGR pit crew right now isn't exactly high praise because they all suck. Like nobody is throwing away races more than the fucking pit crews on JGR. It makes me so angry. That's what cost Christopher Bell the shot at the championship last year. Was pit crew member getting his fingers caught in the wheel lug.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Yep.
Because he was actually gaining on Joey that last run, and then they had that 20-second pit stop, and then it was all gone. So I don't know. It's so funny because I think back in the 5-lug era, I think especially in like the mid 2010s, JGR pit crews were the top. They were the cream of the crop. They were busting out the fastest pit stops on pit road, and now I think they're the worst.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
It was really funny.
Teams.
I saw a video on Twitter. It was like a JGR Twitter video, and they were going to like their pit crew members, and they were like 4, 5, or 1 lug. Like asking them which lug they prefer, and they all said single lug. It's like, why? You guys have fucked up so much since switching to the single lug. Like maybe if you like the single lug so much, learn how to fucking change it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is
it's been
my-
a rough season for them. Hell, even last year they weren't that good. So
no, they weren't.
it's
So that's been my
I mean, I
frustration
guess
this year.
that's why 2311. They have their own in house, and I wouldn't say it's any
Right.
better over there.
Can you imagine getting the
Right.
fifth or sixth, fifth and sixth JGR pit crew?
Oh boy.
If Bell got the first and they're still screwing up.
I mean, that's what it was last year, and that's why Denny did get his own pit crews
Yep.
because they were getting that fifth pick. Yep. So I mean, honestly, I thought it was a pretty good race. I'd like more passing for the lead. Anything else to add for the Cup race?
Did we talk about all the playoff guys? Kyle Busch had a decent day. He wasn't super fast. He did okay. Finished 11th.
Yeah,
Brad,
I mean, a lot of the guys. I mean, obviously Larson first, Reddick was second, Buescher third, Byron fourth, Chastain fifth, Kozlowski sixth, Bubba seventh. Like all playoff guys. And
Chastain was kind of.
Then you had Chase in
surprising.
eighth, so he's out. Blaney, Kyle Busch, Logano,
Owners
Stenhouse. I mean,
playoffs.
no one
Yes,
cares.
Joe.
I mean,
Corey LaJoy's in
the
the
playoff driver showed up.
This is true. That car, so.
Chill.
Yeah, you better thank Corey for that.
Yeah.
For helping you out. Yeah, I think we just had a lot of playoff drivers having issues. Ross Chastain was surprising to see because he was a lap down at one point. Like
He was,
on
yeah.
pace, he was a lap down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he came out to finish top 10. So that was right. He did finish top 10 on not high, right?
Yeah, fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fifth.
Yeah, fifth. Wow. So that's pretty crazy. He was probably one of the ones I was more worried about going into the playoffs, just because they were fast whenever you guys went in Nashville, and then all summer we haven't heard nothing.
Sometimes I feel like there's some weird trickery magic that goes on when we're not paying attention to get some of these guys back on the lead laps, because like sometimes guys like that situation. Ross I feel like he was down a lap like from early on, and somehow comes back, gets a top five. Like obviously I know there's probably no trickery. It's just good strategy. I think a lot of them. I think Joey got a lap back at one point because he got the wave around, and then there was a caution like right after, so he was able to go in and change tires then and not really lose too much. So stuff like that happens all the time. But sometimes I'm like not paying attention, and I'm like, oh man, Williams 3 laps down, and suddenly he's like top 10. I'm like, huh? I'm like, how did this happen?
It's crazy how they can do that. I think what saved Ross, if I remember, Suarez was the next car to get lapped, and it was at the end of stage 1, and Ross was the first car lap down, so in the lucky dog position, and Denny couldn't get around Suarez. So I think that's what. Then stage caution came out, and Ross got the lucky dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised Ross was that slow to begin the race because earlier this year, he was the fastest car until he took himself and Larson out. But
I don't understand why Denny didn't lap Suarez. If I'm Denny, I am pushing like hell to get by Suarez.
oh, I'm sure he did. He just couldn't do it.
Which, what does that say about dirty air? You're lapping a guy and you can't get by him.
Yep. Yeah, we all know it's a problem. Let's move on to Xfinity.
I think the good thing is, just on that real quick, I think the good thing is that mid-pack racing is still good because everybody's sort of in the same boat dealing with dirty air.
Right.
So, as much as it sucks as you can't pass for the lead, there is still some decent battling where everybody's dealing with the same dirty air. So it's just figuring out how to make it less impactful out for the lead, which I'm sure is very difficult. Incredibly hard.
Yep. So on to the Xfinity race. Denny Hamlin bushwhacks it.
Old
Yeah, he
days.
does.
Yeah. Somehow.
Larson couldn't bushwhack, sad.
Yeah. World's best race car driver can't bushwhack.
He can. He just has to wreck him to do it.
Yeah.
He has a point. It's a good point.
But Denny's the dirty driver. Denny's the really dirty driver. I want you to remember that.
Denny got his ass booed out of the racetrack when he did his burnout and got out of the car.
Well, there was more cheers during the burnout.
He loves
but
it.
then he got
when
lots of
he got out,
intros, and then like later on they were like if they were cheering for him and booing him whenever he was burning out, and I think when he got out of the car too. But then at some point during his interview they all started booing. I don't know. It was just kind of like I don't know what. It was a lot of back and forth there for him, but he does love the booze. He's kind of in his Kyle Busch era at this point.
Yeah.
Mhm. He's leaning into it too. He's bringing it on, and I think it's to the point where even his fans boo him just because it's the thing to do.
Yeah.
Like everybody just sort of boos Denny Hamlin because that's what you do. You boo Denny Hamlin.
Right. It's kind of groupthink at that point, kind of mob mentality or people to start booing, so why not? I mean, that's why I booed him at Martinsville. Whenever him and Bowman had the thing, I was like, also kind of like Hendrick, so was obviously on Bowman's side in that ordeal, even though it was not really. Anyway, whatever. Won't get into that, but I don't dislike Denny Hamlin, but I booed the hell out of him at that race, so gotta love it.
So our at track reporters here have an interesting story apparently for us. Austin, you want to
story time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So part of our credentials, we had
Roof.
credential. Yes, you see that roof?
Roof access.
Yes, roof
right
access.
there,
So we had a roof sticker. So when we get there, we asked Peyton. We introduced ourselves. We're like, hey, like, where is this roof? She's like, oh, it's over there in turn 3, like by the Earnhardt Tower. There's the press box, and you'll go through the press box, go through the back, go up these stairs, and then there's a little roof up there. Okay, cool. Well, we're at pre-race for Xfinity, and we kind of want to head over there at some point, just kind of scope it out a little bit, see if it's worth going over there for the Cup race. But we're like, the tunnel that's over in that corner, you can't really walk through, like it's vehicles only. So we run into Peyton. We're like, hey, like, what's the best way to get over here? We don't have a golf cart. She's like, oh, I can give you all a ride. So, we hop on our golf cart after pre-race. She gives us a ride over. Shout out Peyton, again, the best. Super friendly, super helpful the whole weekend. We get off, we, head into the tower, a little bit confused on where to go. Like, I think the elevator's in here, but there's stairs over there, whatever. We're kind of standing there, and I see this guy in a button-down shirt tucked in, to his pants, this hat on. And I'm looking at him like, Joe, I think that's Ward Burton. Mm-hmm. And so we're kind of like sitting there. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely Ward. I'm like, that's 100% Ward Burton. So we finally figure out where the elevators are. We walk in. There's this family hanging out there with some kids. They're kind of messing around. And then elevator comes down. We all hop in. Ward kind of walks in at the last minute. And the family's kind of cutting up. He makes these comments to him, talks and whatever. They get off on the first floor. We're all, us and Jeff going up to the third. So we, the family gets off, and he's like, where are you guys heading? We're like, oh, we're going up to the roof. So, oh, so am I. We're like, okay, cool. So again, the instructions were go to the third floor, go to the press box, walk through the press box, go through and get on the stairs and go up. So we get out of this elevator, and there's a sign right here. It says left press box and right, the suites or whatever. Ward gets out first, and he goes to the right. And we're like, wait, I thought it was, and he's like, all right, guys, come on. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess we're following Ward wherever he's going. So we walk through this suite, and it's just filled with people. We look, we have our vests on. Joe's got a backpack on. We look really official. And we walk through the doors, and these people are like, oh my gosh, this is the spotters. Oh my God. And we're like, yeah, we're the spotters for sure. Anyway, so we walk through this crowd, and we walk out a door to the back where there's stairs. And we're like, oh, maybe this is right. Like maybe they meant like go through the suite to the stairs, whatever. We quickly figure out that's not the case, because we start walking up these stairs with Ward, and we get to this gate, and on the gate is a sign, and the sign says no personnel past this point.
The gate was open.
It doesn't say authorized personnel past this point. It doesn't say like credentialed only. Like it said no personnel past this point. Ward just walks on through, and we kind of pause, and we're like, I don't think this is right. And he's like, all right, guys, come on, like waving us on. We're like, Ward's telling us to go, so we're going to go. So we walk past this gate. It says no personnel only. Keep walking up some stairs, get to the roof. Ward walks up, and we are looking around, and there are a total of 4 other people on this roof. There's a guy in like the Rhino security, like show pro shirt. There is Richard Childress. And there are 2 Marine snipers on top of this roof, and those are the only other people on top of this roof. So we kind of stop. We take a few steps on the roof. We realize who's up here. We just hard stop. We're like, this is not right. Like we are. 100%.
This isn't where we should be.
This is
where I parked my car.
This is. Hold on. Definitely not the right spot. And so we just kind of stand there. The snipers are kind of looking over at us, like assessing the threat here. And we're like,
so when you say snipers, do you mean like full on?
We mean like snipers, like SWAT snipers. They have like tripods with their like monoculars out, like looking around. There's a sniper rifle on the ground, like with a gun case over it. Like, I'll show you the video. We'll put it. We'll show you all the video. where you can see the butt of the gun and the front of the gun.
Oh my God.
Like, sitting there, on the
yeah.
ground. And they're just kind of looking like Richard kind of looks over his shoulder and looks at us, whatever. So we keep standing there. Ward's doing his thing. He's getting his his scanner ready and set up and his earplugs in. And I just kind of walk over to the show pro. I'm like, hey man, like, are we in the right place? Like, I don't think we're supposed to be here. And he's like, well, they told me, like, just no fans or guests. They just said, only credentialed people, and y'all have credentials, so I think y'all are good. And we're like, okay. He's like, this is my first time working this race. Sorry if I'm wrong. I'm like, oh, you told us we're good, man. I mean, we're good. So we're kind of staying there. Like, I kind of start taking some videos. I'm walking up the edge. Like, the cars are pacing at this point. Kind of sitting there for a couple more minutes, and Ward's kind of looking at us, and he eventually walks over to us and goes, guys, I think y'all should get out of here. We're like, yeah, we think we should too. And he's like, it's just all Mr. Childress up here and everything. Like, yeah, I don't see any of their press. Like, I think you're in the wrong spot. We're like, yeah, I know, I think you're right. And he's like, well, let me know if I can, give us a little fist bump. Like, let me know if I can ever do anything for y'all. We're like, all right, cool, like super cool. Like, he wasn't being a jerk about it at all. Yeah, like, well, real quick. Well, he asked us in the elevator. He's like, who are y'all with? And we're like, just a podcast. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, I want to know the difference, whatever. Like, super cool guy. Like, we introduced ourselves, everything. Like, very, very cool guy. Like, very awesome to meet Ward. But yeah, was quite the experience. We finally then go through the press box, go to the right roof, and it kind of sucked. Like, there was a guy from MRN there who's standing on the edge. We don't get in his way. The roof is about place where we can stand was about this wide. So not much to do up there. So we took a couple videos and then kind of got a ride back in. But yeah, was definitely the biggest flub of the weekend, but definitely makes fun.
Oh my God, the GWC flub.
Yeah, the GWC flub of the week.
Rookie mistake going on the
Joe and Austin going on the Richard Childress private roof with his personal snipers. Yeah, so he was up there for the Cup race too. We were on the infield while I was walking through 3 and 4, and I look up and he was up there. So apparently that's where he sits for the races. So I don't know if that's privy information, but I don't think so because anyone could just look up there and see him. But anyway, quite the experience.
That's wild. Huh?
That was
Should have asked one of the snipers if you could have got a shot in. Like, you mind if I get in there real quick for one?
I played Tarkov, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
And for the record, again, Ward gave us the all clear, and the security guy gave us the all clear. So we weren't just barging our way up there. For the record, please don't revoke our access for future races. We made a mistake. We quickly retreated from the mistake, but yeah, what an experience.
Oh my gosh.
That's phenomenal.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's full-on snipers ready to go.
Any sporting event.
Yeah.
That's wild. I had no idea.
And like Cup race, there's like some SWAT guys like all in the infield. Like vests, everything full. No, they didn't have any ARs or anything.
For some reason, like a sniper is like a step above like a SWAT. Like I expect some sort of like SWAT or
that's like
heavy police force somewhere, but like a sniper
to start acting up, like
Yeah, look at next time you go to any sporting event, just like look up. There's always snipers. I know there's a bunch at like the Super Bowl.
Oh
everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
God.
Yep. It's the world we live in, right?
So that was our fun story.
Yeah, that's amazing, honestly. Like, it's one of those things, it's your first time ever, you're going to remember this story. It's awesome.
And we got the okay from the security guy.
And
from
Ward Burton.
That was the coolest. I mean, that was so cool.
Yeah, and
Ward walk on there, and he had his hat was like a Jeff Burton hat and everything. It was funny. I think the security guy said too, he's like, well, he said, and I quote, he's like, well, you're with Jeff, so you're fine. We're like, that's not Jeff, but I'm not gonna say anything.
That's Ward Burton.
Yeah, it's Ward, but it's fine. Jeff's in the booth right now, I think, but
With is a strong word. He's
also
come this way.
I mean, he was backing us on the whole way. Like he was like very much like on our team for the whole thing, and then until he agreed that we shouldn't have been up there. But yeah, super cool experience.
That's amazing.
So that was the Xfinity race.
I missed the Xfinity. Anybody else catch it?
I watched a good bit of it. It was good. I mean, it's what we expect from the Xfinity car. The Xfinity car just puts on a good show. Denny Hamlin in his podcast today was saying things that I wish he was saying about the Cup car. Like he was saying about how you can get up underneath the guy's rear bumper and dump air in the spoiler and get him loose. have him heat up his tires, and you can work by him that way. That's what the second place car could do. He was saying how hard the Xfinity car is on restarts. He was saying how they don't have good brakes compared to the Cup car. So it's just, I don't know. The Xfinity car is, in my mind, the perfect stock car build that we currently have, or the best stock car
It
we
is.
currently
I
have.
agree.
Give it 100 horsepower, give it to the Cup guys. Call it a day. That's what I say, but it's not what we got.
Well, speaking of that, we caught a video, or I shouldn't say we, Drake and Joe caught a video of the new hybrid power plant on fire on pit road.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
that was something.
Turns out it was Austin Dillon's of all
Yeah.
people. So.
Well, that was funny too, because we were standing right there, like walking down pit lane before qualifying, or it was after practice before qualifying, and one of the crew guys walks over this battery box and sets it down by the fence behind pit lane, and we're just kind of standing there, and I'm like, something smells kind of funny. And we look over, and there's some guys, I think it was with Ricky's crew or someone, they're like doing some tire prep, and they're like, what is that smell? And we're like, I'm like, okay, it's not just me. It's not just like a common pit road smell. And then they look behind us, they're like, oh, fire! And we're like, oh, shoot! So we like run away from there. All the we're walking away, and some crew guys like yelling in this, like, the one that's safety crew guys like, that's a lithium ion battery, and he's like, okay, it's like, you need to run, and he's like, the guy's like kind of picks up the pace a little bit, and we got a video of them dumping, I guess, Speedy Dry or something on top of it to try to siphon it out.
Work.
But nothing was really working, and they just kind of had to let it burn out, I guess. Or I guess it eventually kind of worked. They were like shoveling it in there, like trying to get it in the hole. But yeah, crazy experience. Sorry, Zach, a little bit of a hold up in your hybrid power plan there, but
yeah,
maybe next year.
Well, we got to figure out the kinks.
So trucks were off this week, so it wraps up our Darlington recap.
Yep.
Got some news. We got Harrison Burton back in the 21. Thoughts?
Ooh,
Anybody?
money talks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard for me to judge. I'll give him the same benefit of the doubt I gave Cole Custer when he was driving. It's just, where is Ford? Like, who in Ford other than RFK and McDowell at Indy is really doing anything? So it's like
McDowell at Indy, very specific.
Yeah.
But it's just like in general, and Penske too. Like, I don't know. You don't see much from Penske, so what are you going to see from their satellite team right now?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we don't have too many Xfinity drivers looking to move up, And, I mean, it'd have to be one of the Ford trucks in my mind. And I think you're going to stick with Harrison Burton anyways.
And they've been
So-
after like the Matt DiBenedetto thing. Like, Wood Brothers hasn't really had a driver to like sit in the car for a good few years
Yeah, sure.
either. So, maybe they just want to give them time to. Because I do think we are too quick on drivers, like to judge drivers. Like, I mean, this is what, his third year?
I think it's his second, right?
Yeah, it's
It's
only
his
his
second
second
year.
year.
Last year,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Are we too quick to judge and say like, oh, somebody sucks? I think sometimes we can be. So
Hey.
Yeah. It's
I
a
don't know.
Ford.
Give him some time.
It is what it is.
yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe reassess after how long is this extension? Is it like 2 years or something? 2-3 years?
Yeah.
I
They said multi-year. I don't think they really went into detail like any contract.
So probably 2 or
Like
3.
Denny Hamlin's contract.
Yeah,
Yes.
multi-year.
Good transition.
Denny's back.
Wow.
Yep.
A+.
Yeah.
look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Denny going to
Deserve
stay
to
in
be
the
there.
11, which he said on his podcast, so will the 23 XL cars. So I'm happy
Yeah.
about that. I mean, Tyler Reddick's not going to go to a Ford. Hated that so much. But
Yeah.
yeah,
They changed to 2340 there, Andrew. 23XL.
Yeah, I heard you.
XI sounds so weird.
2311.
It
Just
does.
call him 2311.
2311.
2311.
Yeah. I think I tweeted this out on our Twitter, but do we think this is the last contract extension we see for Denny at the 11 before he either retires or goes and drives for 2311?
I
I
believe
think
so.
so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's doing it the smart. I mean, Denny Hamlin's very smart. Say what you want about him, but I mean, I'd do exactly what he's doing. Some people might think, why would you drive for your own team? Well, then I got to pay myself. He's having Joe Gibbs
Yeah.
pay him, and he has his own team. So I mean, he's doing it the right way.
Here's a question.
Yep.
So
I don't really know how
What's
to
up?
word this, but right now it's 2311 because of Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, right?
Mhm.
So if Denny switches to 2311 and he's, he doesn't take the 11 with him, I'm assuming. I mean, you know, if Dale Jr. were to make a team with, you know, that well, with his number in it, obviously he has a team, but like with his number in it, would he call it, you know, the 8 team or the 88 team? You know, it's like, you know, what's his legacy car? Obviously, I would say it's the 11, but if he's switching to another number, you know, or does he just retire in the 11 and then that way the name kind of stays true? You know what I mean? It's just a little nuance there. You know, do they switch up the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see him retiring in the 11. Not to say he won't drive part-time in his own car, but I see him retiring full-time in the 11.
Yeah, that's what I see too, is him retiring out of the 11 and then just doing some, you know, part-time and his own cars.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, good for them because they got that deal done. I think for, you know, as a Toyota fan, they've not happy about being a Toyota fan sometimes, but you know, keeping them, I think that team is very good for Toyota. So I don't think they'd. You wouldn't want to lose Kyle Busch one year and then Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan the following year. Like that would just be a disaster. So
and you're gonna Martin's gonna retire in the next couple of years, so you got all that to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Did we ever find out what's happening with Amarola yet?
Nope, I haven't seen anything concrete.
I thought he was retiring.
Or I think
I just saw rumors. I haven't seen any.
Like the strong rumor that I've seen. I haven't seen anything official from like
Yeah.
Bob or Gluck.
Okay.
Unless I could have missed something, but
I guess that's the last big question mark in the air, right? Is
yeah,
Amarola what's happening at Stewart Haas?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's just that car, right? Because Barry's taking the 4.
Yeah.
Right. Pre-sustained, I would assume, and
and Briscoe.
yeah. So
I guess the 10's the only real question mark.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got the colleague cars.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who do we think is in the 31? Chris Rice said it's somebody that the fans are going to really get excited about.
I'll say right now, I think Carson's going to the 42.
yeah,
Right.
I think he's solidifying that up.
Yeah. But
I thought he was in line to go to Spire. Isn't Ty Dillon out?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is he for sure? I
thought he was.
He doesn't have a contract, but
So you could have the 77, the 10.
Let me check on that.
The 42's open.
The 31 and the 16.
The 31 and the 16.
I don't think AJ has a
AJ's out.
AJ's out. They were talking about Hemrick. It was Hemrick and somebody else taking over.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they wouldn't put Chandler Smith in one.
Uh,
Oh man, I'll have to look this up, but yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. So I'm looking at J Skis right now. So he has his top rumors right now. He has AJ could go back to Xfinity. Ty could be replaced in the 77. JH is likely to be the 42. Interesting. So then,
yeah, I see that one over Carson.
I think Carson goes to 31.
I could see Carson going to 31 because Chris Rice said the fans would be really happy with this move. So I think he's thinking fans love Carson Park because of his stupid hats. So
True.
I think. I mean, then Carson's been doing good. You know, we bust on him, but his 2 Cup drives have been pretty successful.
Yeah.
I mean, but he was in LaJoie's car. Gateway was doing good there until brakes blew up. And where did he finish? Top 15 or something like that.
He was running like top 15 and then
in the Southern 500. No. I mean, in Southern 500 and this Sunday.
Yeah, 17th, I think.
17th,
yeah, like top 20.
I think it was 17th. Which
17th at Darlington for the Southern 500. That's a good run. So I could see him going to Colleague. Him to Colleague, John Hunter to the 42 since they're switching to Toyota next year.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
About that, yep.
Man, there's gonna be a lot of Toyota teams all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then that's why I'm kind of excited and glad that they're keeping 2311 because now Toyota might actually be able to put up a fight at play tracks. You know, for years as a Kyle Busch fan, you knew he's always fucked because there's only 3 other cars to work with.
Yeah. Ford's gonna have to really step up and bring someone in, get another team, I guess. I mean, you're gonna.
I think they got to worry about getting the teams they have fast first.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, one of the rumors is SHR is going to get rid of possibly 1 or 2 of their charters.
Lease out a charter, get some money back in the program. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I heard
So-
somewhere I saw somewhere that's not happening. They're not going to lease him out. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know where they're getting the money though, because they're losing that big Busch sponsorship. And is Smithfield staying if Amarola leaves? Because the rumor was that Smithfield loved Amarola. So do they stay if he retires? If they don't, that's two big sponsorships.
Yeah.
So
I
I guess
We're gonna find out.
the open seats.
Yeah.
Some
Next
wild
couple
cards.
of weeks, it's going to be interesting kind of seeing where people are going.
And we'll get the schedule out. There's some rumors going around about the schedule, but I don't know how much you want to dive into that. But the schedule should be getting released here soon.
Yeah, I think in the next couple weeks, hopefully
So that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Start talking 2024.
Okay. Yeah. So just another sports or any other racing news? We had Max wins 10 in a row.
If anybody's got $500,000 laying around, there's some seats available.
For
That
Vegas.
Joe Jarrett.
Vegas race.
Yeah,
For Vegas race. Standing room only, $500,000.
I have $3.
I have to sell my
Yeah.
fourth beach house for that, but
Yeah.
I might be able to swing it. Might move some money around.
I hate
Yeah.
everything about it.
If we use all our ad sponsorship that we get on this podcast, maybe in like revenue. So
I'd love to know how many seats you could buy at a NASCAR race for $500,000.
Probably buy the whole track.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
you can get tickets for less than that. I could get packages. For
Whatever. I want to know what. Go to the track that has the most seating. How many seats could you buy?
Daytona.
$500,000.
That'll be Daytona 500 ticket. Let's see here.
Is that the highest
Indy.
capacity race?
Does Indy have more?
Oh no, it would be Indy. Yeah,
Yeah,
Indy probably, because it's like 250,000.
Yeah.
yeah. So let's see. Buy tickets online.
Well, if it's
It's going to be
250,000,
around
you need
$125.
$2 tickets,
ticket.
right?
yeah, okay.
So we're not
That's
buying
true.
all of Indy.
So you could buy a good
A
bit of
package
tickets
deal,
at Indy.
maybe. Maybe they give us a group rate.
Groupon.
I want to buy every single ticket.
Groupon to buy every ticket at Indy Motor Speedway. Yeah, that's.
I mean, let's be honest.
here it is.
That's doing numbers.
They're not selling out indies, so let's just buy them all.
Here we go.
Okay. So we got an interview this weekend, or again, I keep on saying we. Austin and
We're a
Joe.
collective
You can
unit.
say
Okay,
we.
we're a
Yeah.
team.
Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so we
think-
got an interview. Austin, why don't you tell us
Yeah.
who you got and what we got?
For sure. So we have the first ever Green White Checkered interview, exclusive interview here at Green White Checkered. Was able to catch up with my friend Adam Riley. We worked together at our previous job, and now he is a tire changer for the 43 team. So we're going to catch up with him this weekend. So got a quick video of that recap. So enjoy. All right, folks, exclusive Green White Checker podcast with the one, the only, Adam Riley. Adam, tire changer for Eric Jones, 43 car this season.
Yes, sir.
How's y'all season been going? What's it like on that side of the wall?
It's been going well. Still, just like with anything, you have room for improvement.
Right.
We're not where we want to be just yet, but we're making strides.
Yeah.
We're making strides, and a lot of improvement over the last few weeks. We had a really good week last week in Daytona. We topped the charts at like maybe P1, I think P1, P2 for stops.
Awesome.
So that's a step in the right direction. But
Yeah.
so far, so good, man. Can't complain.
Sweet. Yeah, awesome, man. Now I know you were tire changing with Joe Gibbs for a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of their affiliates.
Yeah.
What's the culture, environment, training, everything? How's that differ from one team to another in your experience?
So what the situation is, I'm still employed by Joe Gibbs, but
Awesome.
I'm kind of like you said, an affiliate
Right.
of Joe Gibbs with Legacy Motor Club.
Cool.
And what the two teams have done, they've made an alliance, partnered together, and they're leasing like pit crew members until Legacy kind of branches off and does their own thing, become their own team.
Awesome.
And so for the time being, Joe Gibbs is leasing pit crew athletes to go pit for the
Sweet.
two partnership cars.
Yeah.
And so I being one of those. The training is just the same.
Yeah.
They don't have their own pit department yet.
Okay.
So henceforth, that's why we have the leasing and like later
Yeah.
and borrow pit crew athletes from JGR. But the training is all the same. We go in, we lift, we have meetings, we have film.
Everything.
Right.
Is that something y'all are doing with Legacy? Is that something y'all are still practicing, or have y'all kind of like phased that out a little bit, or how's
No,
that all
we've
working?
kind of we've kind of transitioned from using that type of choreography.
Yeah.
It's something that we decided on the early part of the season.
Cool.
I mean, just as fast, if not faster, doing it this way, the old like current gen style. We call
Yeah.
the other play the next gen choreography.
Yeah.
But I mean, still is fast, if not faster.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot more. It simplifies things a lot more with what we do now, as opposed to having everybody approach the car from the front.
Right.
So it's one of those where there's a contingency in place. If something goes wrong, it doesn't hold up everybody.
Right.
But no, it's still a fast stop nonetheless. We just transitioned from using that to the old style stop that we do now.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I know you are an athlete through and through. You played ball in college, correct?
Yep.
Okay, at UNCC?
The Wingate University.
The Wingate, that's right.
One dog,
Way
baby.
better.
One dog.
Way better. So obviously, there's a lot of debate about, are NASCAR drivers athletes? Are there any athletes in the sport and everything? We're obviously in the camp, the drivers, the pit crew, everyone behind the wall are full-blown athletes.
Right.
How have you seen, maybe like, the training being the same, or has it equate, I guess, to playing, college ball or stick and ball kind of sports growing up to being, a pit crew member for a NASCAR team?
So surprisingly, the training regiments are, I'd say they differ in the fact that not everybody does the same movements. Kind of like with a football team or a basketball team, everybody squats, benches, all on the same day, all with the same amount of reps and everything. But because there are so many different positions on a car, on a pit crew, there are different workouts that are catered to specific movements that each position has to do.
Awesome.
So a lot of my workout is more Excel, decel, a lot of plyometrics, some weightlifting, just to keep that injury prevention aspect of it. But as far as like different positions, your carriers, your jackmen, they're more strength and power based.
Yeah.
So you do a lot more squats, a lot more power cleans, a lot more Olympic lifts.
Right.
So anybody that's not a changer is more so of that kind of caliber of a workout plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the movements differ, the workout regimens, they differ based on your position on the car.
Awesome, cool, man. So obviously, I know we talk. You have your own podcast going, Playing for More, correct? Tell us a little bit about that. How's what kind of stuff do you cover on that podcast? Just, give a little plug for that.
Right. So Playing for More is on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. So it's hosted by me and Banks Wise. Shout out to Banks.
King Banks.
Newlywed
that's
Delaney,
right.
Delaney Wise. Shout out to the Wise family. And so it was just kind of this thing where me and Banks, we kept in touch even after graduating from college. And it was one of those days where we were just like, you know what? We should talk about some of this stuff. And kind of our normal everyday conversation just spilled over into a podcast.
Yeah.
And so that was a blessing in disguise. The name came just being an athlete, wanting to play for the win, trying to be the best of the best, outwork the hardest working person on your team in the sport, whatever the case is. But being in an atmosphere where you're striving to be number one, like what is the true goal? Like what is the win?
Right.
And I've come to realize that losing is the win.
Yeah.
Giving yourself away, giving yourself and dying daily, dying to what you want to do for you, and always looking out for number one, and all that comes with just living life.
Yeah.
And so we kind of flip the wording of the phrase on that, playing for more than myself.
Yeah.
And that more than myself is the power that comes up outside of us in Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
So we talk about sports, we talk about what the word says about just everyday things that we may have talked about offline, and we felt like it would be a good topic for a podcast, and maybe something that our listeners out there will want to hear, or even just to share some encouragement and words of wisdom, basically.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know obviously you got a busy day ahead of you, so we're pulling for you. Best of luck to you. We'll let you get back to it, but thanks so much for your time. Really do appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Austin. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's Adam. I think it was cool to get a little bit of behind the scenes there. Glad he was able to give us a little bit of time there before the Cup race to ask him some questions. So shout out to Adam. Be sure to check out his podcast too. Playing for More was the name of it. No, it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
All major platforms.
All major platforms, yeah. So
whatever you're listening to us on, go find him.
Yes, go check him out. Give him a follow. He said he hasn't posted in a while, but it sounds like he's getting ready to start picking it back up a little bit. So give him a follow. But Adam's a great guy, so definitely worth listening to some of his stuff. But I just think it was cool talking about how that athleticism does carry over, how everyone does kind of different workout regimens and stuff depending on their role. But I thought that was kind of a cool aspect. We talk all the time about our drivers, athletes, but I feel like crew guys a lot of times kind of don't get talked about, but they are through and through athletes for sure.
100%. I'd argue pound for pound, they're more athletes than the drivers are. Yeah, I was talking a lot of shit about the pickers just because I was venting as a fan, but I mean, in all honesty, like the picker guys, they got such a hard job, and like I could never do it. You know, the athleticism it takes to do it, and just the flat out courage. Like you got cars going by you at 50 miles an hour, cutting right by your back, trying to change a 50-pound tire, whatever they weigh. Them guys are nuts. Like they're they're crazier than the drivers. They don't get the red god doing that job.
I mean, that clip I put in there of him like standing on the wall beforehand and jumping on. I mean, you see him jump on, and then the car comes by like a good second late. Like he is like
it's crazy,
almost jumping in front of that car. Like you got.
You know what they remind me of? If you ever watch old rally car footage, and you see the fans that stand out in the middle of the road as rally cars come by, that's what picker guys are. Yeah. Like they're just nuts. Like I always said that the rally car fans back in the 80s are more crazy than the people driving the cars. It's the same thing here. Like the picker guys are, you know, in my mind, better athletes and braver than a guy driving the car. So, thanks for the interview, Adam. Great job, Drake. That was a great interview.
Thanks.
Yeah, great interview, Adam. Thanks for talking with Drake, taking the time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these pit crew guys are old college football players. You know, they didn't go to the NFL, but they're going to use their athletic ability and do pit stops, which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I knew that, but I think that's something that maybe the more casual fan doesn't. That I think they could highlight. And something that was really cool that they used to do in the old broadcasts. When they were like talking about a certain pit crew or whatever, say they were highlighting Matt Kenseth's pit crew that day for some reason, they would go through and like show, the tire changer. He'd give his name, where he went to school at, and like they would do like the football thing, like And I just thought that was really cool. It's something we should bring back. That little, you just go through the roster and everybody says their name, where they went, what they do, and stuff like that, just to give them guys.
University.
There's a video that's stuck in my head. I was gonna say it, but it doesn't make any sense. But you ever see the clip of like the guy catches the football and runs into a Suburban, and then like they do one of those like face apps where you see like 2004 Chevy Tahoe, University State. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just see if I can find it. But I mean, these guys they don't get enough credit at all. They just get all the blame from idiots like me who say change the fucking tire.
Just do it right, God.
Just do it right. In 3 seconds a tire. Just do it right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when I get a flat, I'm out here for 20 minutes getting the jack out.
Getting the highway patrol out there to help you jack up the car.
Yep.
Well, speaking of pit crews real quick, we did see something pretty awesome. RFK, what was it? It was the Busher car, right? 17?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The left rear tire changer, Dalton Leonard, pretty much did it in a blaze, changed the tire.
Didn't flinch.
It didn't skip a beat. Yeah. Amazing.
Crazy. Well, they got fire suits.
Yeah. It was crazy. The fire guy backs out of the way, and he's like there in the fire putting the tire on.
They're nuts, dude.
Yeah, he earned his paycheck there.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Cool stuff to see.
I think someone asked him in the bullpen, they were like, are you going to take that tire changer out to dinner or something? Crazy. Well, cool.
Yeah. So, want to move on to kill count?
Let's do it.
We're good.
Yeah,
kill count.
Kansas up next.
We're going to...
And that's about it.
Kyle Busch. Just because Zach, I'm going to start there. He gets 3.
He put him in the wall. It's fine. 3? Yeah. That's a high number. 2.
You had
2.5.
Gilliland, Hamlin.
I thought he was fine.
McDowell. Who? Gilliland?
They weren't dead. The only one dead was McDowell. So just 1.
So that's worth 3 in itself. Jerk. Give him 5. Give him 34. One for each number on McDowell's car.
It wasn't intentional on McDowell. It was a pull shot kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's extra points in Rocket League. So.
Yeah. Bowman, I'm giving 2. Suarez and Harrison Burton. Reddick, I'm giving.
Do we give kill count for wrecking yourself? Like, does that count as 1?
No. Bubba would have a bunch.
Poor Bubba.
That's true.
Yeah. Reddick gets 1. I'm giving him 1 for the Newman thing. Like, come on, man. And then Cindric, gets one.
I didn't see that. I guess that was more egregious than I thought. I didn't really see the whole thing that happened there.
Yeah, he pretty much just stopped
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
in front
it
of
was bad.
everybody on the track.
I feel like we also just completely forgot that Newman drives.
Yeah,
Like that's not talked about at all.
I forgot until I saw him walking out walking out to driver entries. I'm like, oh wait, that's right, he's in the 51 today.
Yeah.
It would be a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah, I had Newman in my DFS this week, and I was like, man, he's doing awesome. And then
Reddit.
that happened.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. And I also had Harvick, so.
Brake pedals on the left, Newman. Gosh.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay. Survivor picks, Zach.
Let me pull it up here quick. Who lost? Oh, Andrew lost. That's right.
Yeah.
Let me just verify that real quick. Let me look at the sheet here.
Yep. Kevin Harvick, 19.
Yep, there he is. He lost. So let's see. We'll run to the order. Who won? Joe won with Reddick in P2. I was second with Kyle Busch in 11th, which really I was surprised I got second. Seeing where Kyle was all day. Then Drake had Joey, which apparently Kyle passed Joey coming out of turn 4 on the last lap.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I was right there.
Andrew with Harvick in 19th,
Yeah.
dead last.
You should have.
Supposedly, according to Gluck on the podcast, I think it was Gluck, when Kyle passed Joey, he let out a woohoo.
Yeah, a tweet about it. Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. So yeah, I also updated. Well, I guess we'll go over the score now. I updated. I gave us each a bonus point for each week we won. It was how many? 8 points for Andrew.
Yep.
He was our
7
regular
for Joe
season
and
champion,
Austin.
apparently.
Yep.
Well, you won the most. I don't know if you're the regular season
was
champion.
too.
I was.
Was he? So 8 wins for Andrew, 7 for Austin, 7 for Joe, and 4 for me. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you letting me have 4.
Yep.
Doing great, Zach.
It's funny. I was looking back at them, and 3 of mine are right in a row.
Well, it would look bad if the commissioner of the Survivor Pool won. You know what I mean? It's like when the
Right,
commissioner of the
right.
Football League wins.
I can't win my own thing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. It's really nice of you to tank like this for a sec. Really appreciate
so
it.
I'm doing a great job at tanking because I'm last in total points 2 of the times.
Bye. Huge amount.
Andrew and Joe are tied with 77. Drake is then third with 74, and then I'm last with 68.
One
So
point away.
I'm
Just lose this week, Zach. Then you can-
yeah, I'm losing this week, and then I'm quitting.
Nice.
So let's run through it. Andrew, who you got?
Going with Tyler Reddick, like that Highline at Kansas.
It's a good pick.
Good pick. Toyotas are for sure going to be strong there, no
That's what I
doubt.
was going to go with, so thanks a lot, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Drake, who you got?
I'm going to go with the less successful Highline runner, Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson, running the Reddick line.
Running the Reddick line, yep. He did better this time. I mean, Reddick got the wall a couple times there in those last laps pushing like that. So,
Yep. Well, I'm going to go with old Seabell. Hopefully they got all the kinks worked out. I mean, the pickers were much better the rest of the race. It was just that first one they jacked up, and I didn't see any issues the rest of the race. So maybe that 54 pit crew is going to work out. Hopefully Adam Stevens doesn't make any silly calls and remembers that track. Well, I guess Kansas might not be the same because you got multiple lines at Kansas. It's not a narrow groove. So we'll see. We'll see how Bell does again, Toyota. So I think he'll do just fine. Joseph.
MTJ.
All right.
Solid.
So all the Toyotas are going to blow up this week.
Yep, as expected.
Now that
then
we
I'm
picked
gonna
them.
win.
Yeah. Drake playing big brain. So that's it for Survivor Pool. We'll see what happens. We are in the last 9 races.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Race
I'm
28.
liking that.
Oh boy.
It's sad.
It is.
At least we have the shortest offseason in sports, so that's good.
Yeah.
True.
And there's cool shit that goes on in the off season too, like Chili Bowl. I'm excited for Chili Bowl.
True.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to go to betting real quick. Not all the odds are up, but Logano plus 2,200. A lot of people don't remember, but he ran really well last year at Kansas in the fall race. And then the other one is Reddick plus 900. He's going to qualify up front. He's going to be quick. It's just what he does. So, yeah, that's what I got there.
Cool.
Ready for
Awesome.
Kansas?
Yeah, I'm ready. I got media credentials for that,
Yeah, he does.
so I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it.
It's awesome.
I know. I'm so
You
excited.
get
Like
meals. I don't know. Did you do that meeting today? You have that pre-meeting. Did you do that today?
we haven't had it yet.
Okay.
Was there one today?
We
No, I
had
missed
an
it.
option on Tuesday and option on Wednesday when we did it.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's awesome. You get free meals, which is one of the coolest parts. Free sodas, water, Powerade as well in the media center. Again, Peyton's the best, Matt's the best, super cool people. I mean, all the people involved with NASCAR are super cool, but those two definitely stood out, very helpful.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm very disappointed. I'm going to miss the putt-putt invitational here
I
on
know.
Friday that Matt invited me to.
Imagine having to work.
What was that? Toyota drivers
Yeah.
something? You know what it is. I was telling Zach this. It's got to be the official Toyota announcement for Denny Hamlin getting re-signed and them retaining the 2311 team.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. And I
It
have
is.
to, I'm going to miss it. I mean, I got to work. I got to work at least part of the day. So it sucks. But oh well.
Oh, wow.
Eh.
Still get to go for the rest of it, and that'll be awesome. So,
Oh yeah, I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it.
it'll be sick. Cool.
Yeah, so
We'll have a lot
Oh,
of.
go ahead.
We should have some content coming out. Some more content from the weekend. This past weekend, kind of record some like vlog-esque material. Got a lot of kind of shots behind the scenes. Just kind of want to walk y'all through what it was like back there. Obviously, like we said, some TikToks and YouTube Shorts and everything too will be coming out. So be sure to follow us on all those socials.
yep,
For some
the
cool.
GWC pod
Yes.
on everything.
Except YouTube. I think I was just thinking about that. I should probably change that to just GWC pod on our YouTube. Because right now it's the Green White Checker podcast. So might switch that up.
Yeah, we could always do a hashtag or something in the comments or the description.
True. Anyway.
But
Yeah, follow us everywhere.
yeah, and we didn't have an OnlyFans question tonight, so make sure you go to our website, the gwcpod.com, or hit us up on Twitter, TikTok, anything. Just give us a question. We'll love to answer it. It doesn't have to be about racing. It can be anything. Like last week, we all decided we're going to go pee like this and say wee. So, yeah, it can be anything. So make sure to get those in. We like them. They're fun. But on that note, I think we're done for the week.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Yep.
Thanks for
All
listening,
right,
y'all.
we're going to end it here. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening.
bye.
Thanks to everybody that